So you've been here with me, Judy Love, with Stefan Lorenzo and Dre X. And we've got another amazing guest in the house. We're going to have a little quick chit-chat with her until the break. And then we'll be back to get really more into some of her stuff. She has been more than 13 years experience in book publishing, and she's an author at 12. Her latest project is a groundbreaking campaign called Look Like Me Book Challenge, which will support 30 BM children authors to write one collective book. Welcome to the scene, Winsome Duncan. Hello.
Hey.
How are you, girl?
I don't think I'm as amazing as you, Judy, but I'm going to try.
Oh, girl, listen, your energy is fly. You walked in, everything was good. I couldn't even talk to you properly because I was doing all the technical stuff, and you know the nails are pretty and stuff.
I'm
and
telling you, girl, you know how to rock a dress.
It's
that red dress.
Oh, did you see me on the red carpet? Yes.
Hey. Where was my ticket, though?
Listen, babes, I didn't even have a ticket. I got an invite.
Gate crash,
and no, I got an invite. I was officially invited, under the Loose Women ITV.
Whoop.
I don't even know how much them ticket was. All I know is that I weren't paying for the champagne.
Exclusive.
I made sure I drank that. I drank it like I was taking it home in a container. You know.
I know about them champagne nights, my love. I know about them champagne nights.
And the thing is, like that transition of not being in entertainment and being in entertainment. So I was still a little bit rough around the edge. Like I'll go to the bar. I'm seeing everyone drinking. I'm going to the bar and I'm like, yeah, champagne. Is that free? Yeah. I just want to, before I say 5 glasses of champagne, they're like 100 of it. I'm not catching no shame here. But listen, it's lovely having you here. You've been an author since you was what, 12 years old? I'm an author of 12 books, and I've been writing since I was in secondary school. Right. Okay. But I only published in 2006. But poetry was my first love. Right. And I was known as lyrical healer. Yes. Done a lot of work, at the Houses of Parliament. I went to Arsenal football stadium as well. Featured a little bit on X Factor. Really?
Just a smidgen.
What did you do on the X Factor?
A smidgen. I did an audition and I went like, yay, put my hands in the air, and that clip had about 100 people call me in and say, I saw you, which was really cool.
So did you
but
sing?
They didn't see. Yeah, I did. I sung Estelle.
Really?
But they didn't broadcast that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they just had the clip of me and my arms out in the air, and I was just like, yeah, I'm famous now for 2 seconds. I was like, all right then. But in that vein of being a poet and a singer, I have a reggae song out at the moment called Marley, which is a tribute track to Bob Marley. Yeah, man.
So you are just like
a ball of creative talent.
Creative entrepreneur, a ball of creative.
I'm trying.
Yeah, and what is so at the moment as well, you've got a song coming out, you've also, which is dedicated to Bob Marley.
Yes.
You've also this new challenge that you've got regards to the children. Could you just tell us a little bit about that?
It's all about the kids, That's what Michael Jackson told us.
Yes.
And it really is. So Look Like Me Book Challenge wants to take 30 young children aged 7 to 11 to create one book that represents multiculturalism, diversity. So BAME children, children that are black and of Asian ethnic minority. So that's really what the challenge is. We've done a fundraiser online on GoFundMe, and I did that over my birthday, and we're going to make it into a social enterprise as well, because the funds was drying up a little piece. So it's a bit hard, but I'm just passionate about having diversity. So the problem that we have at the moment, Judy, is that only 4% of main characters in children's books in the UK, and this is compared
4%.
This is compared to the 33.1% of children that are in the UK education system. And it's not fair because they haven't, and they're not seeing reflections of themselves.
Would you say that's in a reflection of the percentage of ethnic minorities and a whole in the UK? Because I think we're a very small percentage.
About 5%.
Yeah, so in London we seem like we're a lot. I think the issue is the percentage across board is minimal, but when you're in London, there's so much more, and we need that representation in London.
Definitely. I think growing up as a child, it was a novelty to have children with black characters in it.
I don't remember any books with black characters.
Well, there you go.
I just remember the characters that were coloured in black were usually like the evil characters. Do
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Same with the movies and stuff. I want to really ask you, but I'm looking at time. What do you think of the word BAME? Because a lot of people I know don't like it.
Okay, well, at the end of the day, we just have to utilise what we can. People understand BAME. I'm not a particular fan, but I'm going to put it out there because at least there's some sort of representation of equal diversity. That's what I would say. And positive discrimination, I'm all for that as well, you know, especially in things like the Grammys and getting more people of colour.
Yes.
in.
Well, you know what? We need to speak to you in more depth after the news. It's amazing. I'm just excited by the guests that I have here. So still to come, talking after our show with my amazing guests. After the 10 p.m, we've got Duncan Barks is asking, where have you walked out of? I don't know if that's a relationship, a shop, a restaurant, somewhere where you've complained. He wants to know, where have you walked out of? Tomorrow, tune in from 7 a.m, breakfast show with Vanessa Feltz. I was with the lovely Vanessa Feltz last night, so you can tune in tomorrow at 7 a.m. with Vanessa Feltz from 7 a.m.
On digital radio, 94.9 FM and on BBC Sounds.
This is London.
This is BBC Radio London.
BBC News at 9, I'm Moira Alderson. The Labour Party has urged the government to nationalise more rail franchises following the decision to return Northern to public ownership. The operator, Arriva Rail North, will hand back control of services on the 1st of March after years of problems. Here's the Transport Secretary, Grant Shapps.
It's a massive network, 108 million passengers a year, over 500 stations, so it's really large, so improvements will take some time, but there are things we'll do straight away. For example, just deep clean the trains and then make sure there's a proper cleaning schedule in place. Improve, for example, those Sunday services where the trains just haven't been running. Immediately get things like that back into place.
It comes after the bosses of TransPennine Express were also recently summoned for urgent talks with the government about its poor performance. But not all passengers are convinced nationalisation will make things better.
I just hope that it's going to make a difference, because every single train that I've been on, they've all had a problem.
I think it'll be safe. I think it could be different if the government take over. It's going to be short. When it's delayed, it's shorter train drivers.
They just need to do a recruitment drive and then hopefully things will be better, but I don't think things will change, to be honest.
Elsewhere tonight, hundreds of British people being flown back to the UK from Wuhan in China will be immediately quarantined for 2 weeks as part of measures to stop the spread of the coronavirus. More than 130 people have now died. Thousands of others are infected. British Airways has announced it's suspending direct flights to and from China until at least Monday. Culture Secretary Baroness Morgan says that's not a surprise.
The Foreign Office has advised against all but essential travel, and I think it's an understandable decision that the British Airways have taken. It's obviously a very worrying situation, and obviously the UK government is working very hard on measures about bringing UK nationals home, and again people should watch the Foreign Office website for further details of that.
The European Parliament has formally voted in favour of the UK's withdrawal agreement, paving the way for Britain to leave the EU on Friday. There were emotional scenes in the chamber as the result was announced, with MEPs linking hands to sing a final chorus of Auld Lang Syne. The British motorcycle firm Norton has gone into administration. The firm's been based at Donington Park in Leicestershire since 2008. Two men have appeared in court charged with the manslaughter of non-league footballer Jordan Sinnott. The Matlock Town midfielder died after an alleged assault in Nottinghamshire at the weekend. The BBC's Catherine Stancheshin has more details.
Two of the men appearing before Mansfield magistrates, Cameron Matthews, who's 21, and 22-year-old Kai Donovan, are accused of a fray and common assault, as well as a charge of manslaughter. A third man, Sean Nicholson, who's 21, is charged with a fray. All three have been remanded in custody to appear in court again at the end of February.
Catherine Stancheshin reporting. BBC News. It's 3 minutes past 9.
This is London.
This is The Scene.
On BBC Radio London.
Monday to Friday nights from 8.
Uncovering London's diverse culture and emerging talent.
Wednesday.
With Judy Love.
The Scene.
Yes, people, it's me, the one like Judy Love, and you are locked into BBC Radio London, The Scene. Oh, we've had a good little start, haven't we, guys? I'm here with Stefan, Lorenzo, and Dre X, and you was hearing me just warming up the conversation with the amazing Winsome Duncan, who we're going to be speaking about her other book, which is about online dating. I'm here for that. I want to hear for that. I've had my experiences. One experience, should I say, because I don't really feel the online dating thing. I'm going to be real with you. I need to see you from day one. I need to see if you're an adult and you still got baby milk teeth. I need to see that stuff. Like, I need to see what your nails are like. You understand what I'm saying? I need to see what your nails are like, hairline, da. I need to see all that. I need to see if the energy, like, there's a little vibes. I'm a vibes girl. You should know that. If you don't know, go and look on my page, innit? But we're going to be talking to these guests. I got to drop a track on you lot because I think I'm going to drop another one of Dre's track. No, I'm going to leave that. I'm going to leave that. Not leave it in the sense of not going to play it. I'm going to play it after we've talked about the online dating. What do you say about that, Dre? Is that all right? We play your track after online dating.
Sounds mighty fine.
It sounds mighty fine. So you know, some of the topics that we are going to be talking about is racism. Have you experienced racism? I'm going to be, going through it with my guests. Have you experienced racism? Do you feel like you're tired of talking about racism? How should we be handling racism in 2020? We're also going to be looking at black love. What does black love mean to you? Why do people say #black love, #black excellence? Who is a couple that you would identify, so the alcohol is coming through. Who is a couple that you would look at and like be inspired by because you feel like they are the depiction of black love? What does black love mean to you? And what are the remedies, homemade remedies that you have for hangovers? All of that. Call us in on 0800 731 2000 or text us on 81333. Make sure you put the word London first before you send that text so that we know it's for us. Until then, I'm going to play this guy's tune. I made a video about him. I'll explain after why.
Sad times we're living in. A minute silence yet again. Life is on the brink. All mine is in the ink. This was supposed to be for her, but I think it's more for me. Yeah, I got my brandy, got my beats, but I'm still flawed trying to find my feet. Can't shake this hurt inside of me. Hurting silently. Reach over to your pillow. Cold enough to freeze. These walls keep memories. Sworn to secrecy. They've seen us happy as can be. But how happy can we be? They say good things don't last forever. How much further can you see? Fools to confront my faults. No fight inside of me. Just drag cries inside of me. Till they find their way to cheeks. Gold Rolex on my wrist. But I'm balding as we speak. Folded into deep. Water's drowning me. And my sorrows they can swim. But is there more fish in the sea? But don't be sad for me. Still got my brandy, got my beats. I just know that I lost my best friend. And I lost a piece of me.
Silence speaks so loud, trying to drown it out. In this room full of emptiness, 'cause we've been holding on to each other. Now with the space I need, I cry and never tell that you won't see.
So many lessons in love can't be taught without the breaking of hearts. Without a stain on her trust, I still feel the pain in the hug. And just when you think you're moving on, you do shots to forget, get back this up. That's when I open up the cupboard and see the S on your cup. Guess I best hit the club, loosen up, grab a Bex or a bumper, choose one. So crowded as the dance floor, but full of emptiness and red bottoms. West got 'em, all floss with more money and less problems. Can't find the real ones from imposters. Can't find the real love in these lock-ins. Can't find the right words in these vodkas. Can't find my feet now, I look lost in this place. Are we supposed to be shocking? So out of touch, play the back watching. Tune spinning, but when's the beat dropping? Man, I miss bringing my sound to this beach. To build a castle fit for a queen who now once without me.
Silence speaks so loud, trying to drown it out.
Yes, got my brandy by Kano. Okay, so I made a video about Kano, right? Because basically after Top Boy season 2, like all the women were just going crazy, even some men over him, and I had to just basically tell them to just back up. Like, because some of us out here have been loving off Kano from day one. Like, don't jump on the thing now. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, don't. But I had to speak directly to Kano. Like, you can't be coming with all of that sex appeal. Like, slow down, brother. You can't be doing all that. Them little pictures with the smooching eyes and stuff. Like, slow down. Like, calm down. You got these older women out here with you on their WhatsApp. Like, slow down. Teeth in posters and stuff from their kids. Slow down, brother. Okay, but if you want to talk about it further, you can just call me 079 Kano, just in case you're listening. Anyway, people, let's get to Miss Winsome. Hello.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good. We was talking really about BAME. Look, someone sent in a text, and it says she is African. She is not a colour or an object. She hates the word BAME.
Ooh.
I've heard a few.
Ooh.
I've heard a few black people say.
Wow.
I've heard a few Black and Asian people say that.
So then what are we going to be? Black Caribbean, Afro Caribbean?
I don't know. I think
West African? What do we become?
I think it's a thing about labelling again. Like, why do the others, with my little, quotation, my little, why do we have to be labelled as something? Why are we just not people? Why we have to be so seen as so different, so separated? I think that's what some people might feel.
Well, when the report came out, that's how they described it in the report that was done. And I think that the corporate industry and the educational industry understands that language. And I think it's no more than that. It's a personal preference as to whether you want to be categorised in that. I'm not a fan, but I was questioned about it. Like, why are you using that word for? Can't you say another word? But then black doesn't cut it. It doesn't cut all the ethnicities that are around and here. There's more brown and black skinned people about. So it was a tough one, but because I'm wanting to get that message out there, you will understand what a BAME child is. It's a child of colour, multicultural.
I love the way that you've been able to articulate that and explain it. I think you're right in regards to it's each to their own. And when you're not trying to cut off any other body that might be seen as an ethnic minority, and use it. This is the thing about, I suppose, business to a certain extent. No matter what you do, whether it's creativity, there's always that business level where you've just said in the corporate, it would be able to explain it as BAME. That's how they work, those kind of logics and so on.
Mm-hmm.
But as an individual, if you don't want to be labelled, then fair enough. Someone said here, I identify black love. Oh, this is about the black love. We'll get to that. I identify black love as two dark-skinned people who have a mutual respect and treat each other like a king and a queen. Is there any kings out there? That's what. Why two dark-skinned people? That's what I would want to know. If you are listening, which I assume you are, can you please text why two dark-skinned people? Because my king might be fair-skinned with plaits and green eyes, but he might be African, West Indian. Was I describing you? Sorry. I was describing Dre X.
Dre X.
But he might be African, he might be West Indian. I just want to know why the tone of someone's skin colour, why the tone? Is it because you feel like black lovers and dark-skinned people are not represented that much in black love? Very interesting. So, look, thinking of love, Winsome, not only are you doing the book for the children, which is an amazing event, and you're asking for funding, and this is for young people. What age are they? What age are these young people?
So the first cohort is going to be age 7 to 11 because we want to make that the pilot. So I just want to say thank you to everybody that did give over my birthday. We managed to raise over £400.
Mm-hmm.
Target is £10,000. So
Right.
thank you.
So
it's a small seed, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's like a mustard seed, and it will grow. And you put it in the soil, and you let it flourish. Everyone's on board, but you need to have money to be invested in it. So that's why we decided, and actually I haven't announced it on Facebook, but we might as well announce it on the Judy Love Show. I have decided to make the Look Like Me book challenge a social enterprise, because I've run those in the past before. So we will be a social enterprise company and officially be applying, because the statistics are there and people have gone on to get funding as well. So I just really have to just raise awareness at the importance of just showing a bit more empathy and understanding to the different cultures that live in UK. In this room, you've got a variety of chocolate skin tone. You've got caramel.
White chocolate, what's wrong with you? We're all chocolate, man, and we melt down, and we all melt down the same way. That's the life.
There's just different. There's different. Great, it's a beautiful different shades, and this is what makes us. And we come together, and we're inclusive. We're not going to say, "Oh no, white children in the books." No. We're inclusive because that's what we're teaching, and we want to just come together and change that number. It has to change from 4%, and we want to do that over a 5-year period. And then after, we're going to be doing 12 to 17-year-olds that are going to be telling their stories as well. And it's possible, and the more children that we can get involved, we've already had an offer. You're talking about your children in the football, Renzo. I want to connect. I'm easy to reach out for. You just hashtag it. We're out there. The Look Like Me book challenge. Look like me, books that represent me, my colour, skin tone. I'm very clear about that.
And I think as well, not just your culture, but identity, in the sense of, like, I'd love for there to be a book of a single mum who, has come from a working class background, Caribbean, and it's just got things that I might have experienced, or my kids might have experienced. And it might even not be necessarily just about my ethnicity, but when you say look like me and gone through what I've kind of gone through, it's really about representation. What you're doing is amazing. You've also got this book. Is this the book, He Loves Me, Me Not? Is this the one? Is this the online?
That is.
Because
what to do when online dating hurts.
Online dating. I was saying it earlier. I really believe I'm about the vibe. I'm about vibe, mental stimulation. I can sit down with someone, and if you can hold me mentally, ooh, I'll be a loose woman. Yeah.
Let's get it on.
Because you could be. Listen, I've had some good-looking men talk to me, and my mind is just like, did I take the chicken out the freezer? No, seriously.
It's true.
Because it's just there's you can't there's no stimulation. I can't mention something to you, and like if I've got a book and I say to you, I'm reading this book, and you can't have some kind of conversation. I'm not saying that you need to know the book, but if you're fearful of saying, I've never read that, what it's about, and there's not anything in that book that you can relate to, it's not going to work, brethren. I'm telling you, I don't care how pretty you are, it's not going to work.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that, because I went on a date last month with one pretty.
What? Where? There's none out there. Where did you go?
No. He were fun. And this is what gets me into trouble, guys.
Sorry,
honestly.
guys, we're just like,
we're going in now. No, I get into trouble because I forget myself. He's so fine.
Yeah, yeah.
Long eyelashes.
Oh, man.
Biceps, 6-pack. I'm like, damn.
What? I'm like, where was this?
Up? Well, so this was we went to a Colombian restaurant last month.
A little spice.
Colombia. And he was Portuguese. He was Afro-Portuguese.
Afro-Portuguese.
So, we got something going on there.
Yes.
Yeah, big up the Portugal massive. Pop,
Ooh,
pop, pop.
I love me a Portuguese. Yes.
But when it came to it, Judy, he just wanted these things. That was it. He just wanted these things. He just wanted to get it on. Mm-hmm. And I weren't feeling that. I'm about the substance of a man.
Substance
What's your
and a
heart?
woman. Yeah. Was that an online thing?
Yes,
you met him online.
It was online.
So I read that in your book that there was a part where you had a gun in your face. Is this,
girl? How long have we got? We got a couple hours.
Let me sip the juice.
You know what I'm saying? So this is the thing with this book, He Loves Me Not: What to Do When Online Dating Hurts. I really want to just help women to feel more confident in themselves, because when you feel more confident in yourself, you're going to make a better choice. And when you make a better choice, you want better people around you. And in this instance, we're talking about having someone that's our opposite male who is strong and can represent us in a positive way. So I was going through a period of my life where I wasn't in my right mind, and I was low in confidence.
When you say it wasn't in your right mind, do you mean that you was having mental health issues, or
I was suffering from depression,
right?
And at that time, I was smoking a lot of weed.
Yeah.
And I'm abstinent from weed 3.5 years now.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Especially if you know that affects you. It's amazing what you've done.
It affected my mental health. So it got me to make poor choices. Yeah, he was good looking. Yeah, he was fine. He was in the Marines. Yeah, he was from the Caribbean. However, his mind wasn't all there, because that's who I've attracted. And
I so believe in that.
What so upset me was the fact that we were talking for 1 year. 1 whole year online we were talking. So it wasn't like it was 1 week, it wasn't like it was 1 month. So I had this little false sense of safety that he's been taking the time to chat to me, get to know me. So we get together and we meet up, and we started to see each other. We started to see each other, and on one occasion in the morning, he got into his drawer and he pointed the gun at me.
Whoa!
And I froze.
What, no aggravation?
That's what I'm saying. Come forward.
No, he just.
No aggravation.
No, I didn't argue with him. No, I wasn't arguing with him. Nothing.
That's insane.
We were getting dressed. We're going to work, going on our merry way, and he pointed it out, and I just froze on the spot.
Wow.
Like I didn't run. I just.
Was this supposed to be a
blank.
joke? Was it supposed to be a joke?
I drew a blank. Well, I didn't find it funny because he worked for the Marines and he was a sniper. So I'm kind of thinking, well, you're going to have access to these, equipment, isn't it? The guns.
It's normal
and stuff
to him
like
as well.
that.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Well, this is it. So it might have been a joke to him, Dre X. It might have been a joke to him. And he goes, and he pointed it at me and he goes, "You're scared now, innit? You're scared
the
now."
level of power there.
But why do you think he's doing that though?
Why do I think he's doing
Yeah,
that?
it's a madness to me.
I think it's almost like what you were saying in the context of why. I think it's more about what you were saying, Winsome, with regards to where you was.
Of course.
You attracted someone else who wasn't in that right frame of mind. What you projected out is what you got back. And maybe he wasn't in that right place, whether that's within his own self-love, his own care, his own emotional and mental well-being. And maybe that's what happened in that kind of counter-transference. That's
Definitely. I think for his side of it, it was power. He's very strong, and he tussled me to the floor. And there are some other bits, but, I'm not going to share it all, obviously, because this is why I'm writing this book to help people, to make them aware. That's the serious sides of it, We can have a little laugh and we can have a little joke, but I put myself into a position of being unsafe. So I just think that there's cautions and procedures that you can do, like, saying to your friends, this is where you are, this is who you're seeing. You can never really get it right, though. You could know someone from school and they still turn out to be a mass murderer.
We forget how many actual mental illnesses there are, because you've got sociopaths, they don't have any social skills.
Yeah.
And then you've got schizophrenics who have 2 personality disorders. And one of those personalities could be a sociopath.
Yeah.
So, like,
and I think as well, it's with online dating, how exposed you can be. And I really like the words that Winsome used about a year speaking, you fell into that false sense of safety because I've been talking to them for a long time. And I feel like with me, I'm the kind of person, once I talk to you, you never can know, but I feel as humans, we can speak to someone and it's always that little thing. There's just that little thing where you can kind of be like, I don't know.
But I did ask him, Judy. I did actually ask him towards the end, because it became like this tussle. And I think I became slightly obsessed with the fact that he wasn't interested in me the way that I wanted him to be interested in me. And inside of that, it came to a point where I was just like, well, just tell me why. I wouldn't let it go. We were estranged. We weren't seeing each other anymore. And his response was, I don't know. And I accepted that because it felt heartfelt, what he was saying to me. I don't know.
He don't know why he did it, or he doesn't know why.
He don't know why he was so mean and cruel, within the relationship. But how it would develop and transpire was that I eventually found out that he went around conning women that were vulnerable and taking their laptops, taking their money. There's articles online that I looked up that he's got different names. and it was in the same area as to where we lived, and they said that he was discharged from the Marines.
Wow, this is why you need to get the book. What is the name of the book? Again, so people...
Loves Me Not. What to Do When Online Dating Hurts by Winsome Duncan. It's 5-star rated. It's on Amazon, and it could save your daughter's life.
Rap. You lot can say rap, you know. You're my
Hey.
They were all sitting there silent. So it's 5-star rated. It's on Amazon now. He Loves Me Not. What to Do When Online Dating Hurts. Have any of you guys ever done online dating?
I've been married for too long.
You've been married for too long?
Yeah. Shout out to my beautiful wife, Lily. I'm glad I didn't meet her online, if I'm honest.
Okay, shout out to your beautiful wife. And what about yourself,
I mean, myself, obviously, yeah, man. Young 20-year-old man, so like, I mean,
you like
want
to swipe left and right, yeah, a couple times a week.
But obviously, like, for me here, it's about like, cool. I could talk about my own experience with like online dating or whatever, like, you know, using apps like Tinder and stuff like that. But what I'm really thinking about here, and something I like kind of want to discuss with you guys about going too far off topic, is about thinking like, what world are young people growing up in, you know? Like, you're saying that story right there, and that's just making me think, all the young girls I work with, from schools like the Totteridge Academy in High Barnet to schools like Archbishop Landmark, sorry, I have to shout them out, obviously. It's like, for me, it's like, mad. Those stories need to be told. And, you know, young women especially, young girls need to know about the importance. They really need to stress the importance of the dangers of social media and the online dating world, because yeah, I guess from your own lived experience, like that gave me goosebumps, man, honestly.
It did give me goosebumps. And sorry, what you going to say?
We are actually going to be doing a TV show called LoveNet, so we're going to be exploring this topic further, and we're going to do a TV series as well, and we've got a track coming out to highlight it. So it's not just the book, we want to make it a movement to help make dating safer. Yes, primarily for women, but men need to be safe as well, because there's some crazy ladies out there.
And it ties in with what Loranta was saying about you know, self-awareness, and you know what was you gonna say?
Just that, like, a lot of the work we do at Football Beyond Borders is about supporting young men to think about their masculine identity from a young age, and a lot of that is about the power relationships they have with women in their life.
So good.
It's super important. We've sorry, go on, Judy.
No, sorry, that's just a big issue right now with the young boys. They're not really understanding the power dynamics within their own masculinity and how to even treat a girl. You know, it's you know, what you're saying is true. So you're looking at that now.
It's a massive thing. We've actually got an upcoming event on the 12th of February, which is at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Wow.
We're actually in partnership with Gillette, and the whole purpose of the event really is to showcase the young people's work, which is around challenging negative masculine identity and stereotypes, and how we can redefine masculine identity for young men in a positive way, reframe it positively.
So that's coming up on the, what date is it?
We should have shouted out before.
12th of Feb.
12th of Feb. Go on, Renzo, plug.
I have to plug. 12th of Feb, Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Only a few tickets left, so if you want to, just type in Football for All 2020 Football Beyond Borders Eventbrite. Yeah. And you should get an Eventbrite link.
We got you, Judy. You're on the guest list. Don't worry.
Everyone here is on.
I think I'm filming, but definitely. What yourself, Trey? Have you had any online dating experience?
I've had a few.
Okay.
Yeah, I've had a few.
Okay.
One to highlight, I guess. I met a girl and she was fine for the first few hours. We sat down to 8, and then I could see she wasn't fully stable. Like,
something wasn't right.
You just
didn't feel the vibe. Something didn't feel right.
Yeah, and I asked her about what she ate, what she wanted to eat, and she asked me. She told me about how she got really sick from eating meat, and then she broke down from telling her own story, and I realised what I was in.
And sometimes I think the reason why it's good to talk about, because you really need to heal before you start dating, and that's the reality of it. Listen, we're going to go more into the topics after we hear This True Come True from Summer Walker and Usher.
We got London on the track.
I should've known better. Can't even pretend like I don't want it again. On the brain all the time. Thinking about the things that we did. You did something like this don't happen too often.
Just be sure you 10 toes down before I pull out this card. And the only thing that's coming beside me at the situation is you waiting and get some more. I told you I'ma take your places. I seen it in your face, and I knew that you would say this. So how you wanna play this? Yeah, you got somebody. I've been in this predicament. Don't trip, creep discreet. That's just what we dealing with. Come through, quarter after 2,
Just to put it down on you. You made me wanna replay all of the things that you and me went through. You made me wanna come through, quarter after 2, just to put it down on you. You made me wanna replay all of the things that you and me went through. You made me wanna my drop on my dishes for you. Got my feelings running on a loop. This ain't what I'm really used to.
You make me wanna. Hey, what you used to, what you used to. New relationship with you, it's just what you do. Think about it, cut it out.
Yes, I love that song, Come Through by Summer Walker. Don't you think Usher's smart though? Because he made sure he came through and was back on that track. I love that song. That is my song by Summer Walker and Usher. You know what? We was talking off air and we were just getting into the juice of everything. And I think it's time we go straight to the discussions. What do you guys think about... are you tired of talking about racism? Let's keep it real. Are you tired about talking about racism? Everyone's laughing. Stefan, are you tired? Stefan's like, look.
It's easier for me. I don't think it's for me to say necessarily because I've not been a victim of structural racism and
I
real
love the
felt
fact that you said
racism.
structural racism. Yeah, I love that. So, Cohen, sorry. So you feel like because you haven't been, I won't say victim, but someone who's been abused by racism, it's hard for you to be able to say whether people are tired or should be tired.
Yeah, I don't think it's for me necessarily to say whether I'm tired or not as a white male. I think that, I mean, I grew up in South East London, so probably, to be totally real with you, as a white male, I was probably a minority in my school, to be honest with you. I'm just going to be real, but I definitely experienced, I did experience racism, and as I got older, I saw it with friends of mine.
Right.
And certainly in interactions with the police and authority figures.
Really?
Absolutely, yeah.
See, you know, and some would say that they've never seen it. You know, some would say who live in the country who may not be black would say, no, I don't understand. Do you feel like, do any of you guys feel like you're tired of speaking about it because maybe, you know, you just don't feel it makes any difference? Or it's, for me, sometimes I feel like I can't watch certain things anymore. You know, like, you know, rest in peace, Kobe Bryant died last week, and there was an issue in an American tabloids where they'd also, the lady who was talking about him said the N-word, and then obviously there was the mix-up with the video and the pictures on the BBC. And I think what it does for people of colour is it just, after a while, it just makes you feel like, my mind cannot take it.
Tired.
Your mind's tired. So there's a difference between, I don't want to talk about it because I don't care, to a difference of feeling exhausted.
Yeah.
I don't know if you, what do you think about that, Lorenzo?
I guess me, luckily enough in my life, at least I've never been really confronted with upfront racism. Structural racism as a young mixed race man and growing up in London, it's just like, I feel like anyone from any skin colour is really going to face some form of structural inequality if you grow up in a city.
Yeah, indirect.
Exactly.
What is your background?
So I'm half Italian, half Algerian.
Okay.
But yeah, I guess...
Good food, boy.
Yeah.
We're going to Renzo's after this, yeah?
Yeah.
But yeah, Judy, I guess for me it's less about racism, it's more about just race. Like, I mean, I can only talk based on my lived experience, but the entire topic of like race and religion coming from like two different heritages, two different backgrounds, it's just like, as you said, it's exhausting emotionally and physically, and it's just like, I've just reached this stage now in my life where whenever I'm talking to a young person about identity and stuff like that, you know, obviously pigmentation of your skin is ultimately very important in terms of identifying what that may lead to, how that may set you up for later life, as Steph was talking about, again, the structural inequalities that may come with it. However, I'd rather just focus on the other stuff because, it's something I don't believe I'm self-aware enough, or I really haven't challenged in myself yet.
Right.
You know?
But at least you're saying it in that terms, you know, and there's no false education. It's about going through it with someone and letting them understand about themselves first and their self-worth and who they are and their identity. I think for me, sometimes it's, as a mum, as a black woman who's got a black son and a black daughter, I feel it's sad, it's unfortunate that for both of my children, I have to probably get to stages where I might have to say to my son, you might be stopped more because of, do you know what I mean? Or my daughter might go for an interview, she's the only black girl, they're most qualified, but everybody else, she wasn't the one that got the job. And it hurts me, it's tiring. So there's a level of, you just try to keep them as secure as possible. You try to not infect their mind and you don't want your kids to grow and think, oh, those people are bad because they're going to be racist. You just want them to grow and feel nice. And then one day, your child gets to a stage where they like, oh, the kid told me they didn't want to play with me because I'm black. And you're like, oh, God, so we're going to... Or, Mum, why is it all the kids that I'm seeing on the news in this and this, or getting arrested, this, and in a black... And then it gets to a stage where it's like, oh, I have to have this conversation with them. And how it's done is really important because it really can knock them. It can knock them. I don't know how you feel about that, Dre X.
Personally, it is exhausting, and the climate that we're in right now is it's sad that it's so sensitive. Everything's so sensitive nowadays, and it's like you're walking on eggshells. You're just living. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Which is I'm more sad. I'm more sad that it's like this because race is just another border. Like, so we've got these. Some people can't talk. Some people are mute, and we have the blessing to be able to speak and express ourselves, but we still want to express ourselves in a derogatory way. It's like, it's a waste. We're wasting our life the more we just like enforce these borders that we have. We already have country borders. Why do you need communication borders? You know what I mean? We already have a communication border on our speech level. That's language. But then it's just it's complex.
This is why we're football beyond borders.
Yes, exactly.
Get it in, and borders is coming up a lot. So
football beyond borders.
We do have to transcend those borders. I'm fully with you.
And I think it is about being able to express when you are tired of something, and having people like yourself, different backgrounds, and promoting the beauty side of being different is so important. Do you understand? That, like what you're doing, Winsome, it's so important. So it's like, I don't even know how we really go about it in 2020. That was my thing. How do we do this? I just think the more not uniform, but united we are, whether it's in our small pockets, which just spreads. Hopefully it just spreads and it spreads and it spreads in the sense of us coming together, and like you do in the books, Winsome, having a widespread of people buying your books, not just black people, white people, Asian people, so they are educating their children and making it normality to have a book with all black characters in their household, because you go to school and you see black children, you go to work, you see Asian people. So having that and making it more normal and in our conversation is what it's about.
Yeah, I hear you. I have a different take on it. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think it's amazing. This is why, we publish books like my first trip to the Gambia, which was a book of colour by a lovely young author, age 13, Michaela Williams. Wonderful young girl. And my whole thing is, I personally will never get tired of speaking about it until it changes. I've got a voice. God has given me a voice to speak and to use, and I'm not going to be embarrassed, and I'm not going to cower down, and I'm not going to try and fit in just because that's what everybody else is doing. I'm a black woman, a woman of colour, and melanin runs through my skin, and I'm proud of that, and I'm tired. Yes, I'm exhausted, like Dre X was saying. I'm exhausted by the ignorance that in this day and age we can compare baby Archie to a chimp, and excuse it away as it's a joke or I didn't know, and for us to accept that it's not on. It will never be on. And I just think that the balance of wealth distribution needs to come to all people, you know, not just middle class white males. So my take on it is that I will continue to raise awareness.
Yeah.
As much as I can while I'm on this earth breathing. You know, luckily for me, I'm here today, and I'm not in a helicopter somewhere on a stretcher with my daughter dead.
It's mad.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've still got a chance to make a difference, and we can do that by coming together and putting the solution, like you're saying, to it, and working together. I do believe that I can't do this on my own, and I'm not making it no black or white thing. It's just a nation thing that we need to come together. And I could go on, but I think I'll leave it
most
there.
definitely. And I think it's okay to say that. I think there's different levels of tired, isn't it? I understand what you're saying in the sense of tired of like, man, you know, it's hurtful. That's what it is. It hurts. It actually hurts because you're like, you don't want it to be that, but then sometimes it is just that. And then we have amazing people like yourself here. If you've just locked into BBC Radio London, I don't know why you've just locked in now, because we've only got like 20 minutes left. I'm here with Stefan Lorenzo from Football Borders. Did I say it right? It's Football Beyond Borders. Yeah, they're kicking out the BB. Yeah, they're here. I've got Dre X here, and I've also got the amazing Winsome Duncan. I'm just going to quickly play some of your track, and then I'm coming back and we're talking about black love, and I want to get through these dilemmas. Oh, yes.
Yo, they call me Andre. Grew up living in the concrete. Single mother moving strongly. Told me only one way, and that's up like a runway. Visioning us living comfy. Dreams of a one day. Talking cruise on a Sunday. Talking cruise on a Monday, and I ain't even worried. If you ain't know it, let the song play. I put this music on the long play. Living good, feeling like a rose up out the hood. Or like a rose up out of concrete, whip it like a cook. Remember I was working up in Bush, and now I'm working off these books, man. I've been getting paid up, living blazed up. I was chilling out with Kayla, now I'm with Mela. Looking on these acres, thinking I'm a caker. And I know I took it easy, I've been away. Sunset cruising down the boulevard in the rose. People about to show, we make some music in the cove. And we dripping gold, like Leo and Ferro. Throw them racks on the floor, like this shit ain't for sure. I'm just hoping they know, I'm just hoping they know. I ain't lying about the new white more jealous. I ain't lying about a beach and a sauce spread. I ain't lying about no me. Said I ain't lying about no me. I ain't lying about a who black Mustang. I ain't lying about coins in the dustpan. I ain't lying about no me. Said I ain't lying about no me. Even from the start, told him that I'd be the last man standing up. It was cost, I was gonna bust. Like even from a child, I was banging out a dance. And now I got the funk, make you jump and prance. I was reaching arms for a bone or a chance. Now I only stretch my arms, see my rollie or the cards. I've been taking charge, man, who cares about the charge? This can't fit on two arms, I'ma need some new arms. When I told my mama I'ma make you proud, I'ma put in work and I'ma make new sounds. I'ma buy you grounds, I'ma make you pounds. You think I'm planting trees, how I see to a dream. And I give you 3 million when I lay roots down. And this girl rooted me, so I had to ask her, are you Middle Eastern? Look at you Beirut now. And I love it, nothing ever weigh you down. Now we in the Everglades, reminiscing how we getting paid. Eating on these canapes in paradise, we vision change. We still dripping gold, like Leo and Ferro. Throw them racks on the floor, while I'm whipping these floors. I'm just hoping they know, I'm just hoping they know.
Yes, that was Ain't Lying by Dre X, who's here in the house of us. Dre, I feel like your music's ready to go. It's, you know, sometimes you hear a track, you're like, yeah, it needs a little bit more seasoning, but that's like cayenne peppers and everything in it.
I've been on the strip seasoning the chicken.
What? That's what I'm saying.
From jerk chicken, yeah?
Jerk chicken. Listen, with all of that kind of smooth music, what do you think about, what is black love to you? What do you think about this hashtag black love?
I think black has been persecuted and like oppressed for so long. So I feel it's like feeling liberated in that and not hiding it anymore. Not being ashamed of your colour, going out, and enjoying art, people's gonna look all the time for some reason. That's always been weird to me, but
and I think maybe sometimes it's not as represented. I think obviously when you think back deeply into slavery, black love wasn't allowed.
Exactly, yeah.
Do you get what I mean? It was a risk of being killed,
Yeah.
murdered, raped, persecuted, the rest of it.
Yeah.
So they wasn't even allowed to get married, so you have to jump over a broom and all of that.
Exactly.
And when you think about couples on TV, like I suppose we could say Beyonce and Jay-Z, but one long-standing, it would have been the Cosbys, you know?
Yeah.
For me, that's the family we looked at, and the reason why for me is because they were two professionals. It was more than just, two black people coming together. And how do you define black love? Winsome?
Black love is beautiful, baby. Hey, come on. I mean, I love it. And the lady or the man that texted in and said black love is two dark-skinned people coming together. My opinion is that it's under the spectrum, of all shades of colour. Yeah. So from black to brown, it's under the spectrum. It's not even, it doesn't go in that way. When I think of black love, I think of a healthy relationship. I think of role models, raising children together, family units. That's what I think of when I'm seeing black love. I'm all for black greeting cards, because I've been told so long that my broad nose and my full lips are not acceptable to the commercial world, or my plus size figure that I have right shapely sitting on this seat is not acceptable in the modelling industry. That, I got to just love on myself and people of colour as much as possible. Yeah. So black love is king and queen, yes. Yeah. I'm all for black love.
Not, I think people, have you heard of the terminology, Stefan, as black love? Have you heard the terminology?
I have come across it, yeah, I've heard it.
How was it, what did you think it was when you hear it?
It's actually, this is pretty it's in the centre of my mind at the moment. I've actually just been in a training course at the weekend with a bunch of psychotherapists in training, and the whole theme of the weekend was about race really and inequality, and there was quite a diverse group of students there from all around from all around the world, from all around London, but yes, from all around the world. But black love was something that did come up, and there was not in the depth maybe that we're talking about it, but there was certainly a lot of conversations around the importance of not shying away from anything that not shying away from being proud to celebrate where you're from. And I think that I did get a sense that is very important for people. Again, it's difficult for me to talk about because my experiences I would never want to speak for anyone else's experience.
But you know what you said just then warns me, because the reality is you are a white male, but you don't feel excluded, but appreciate others wanting to celebrate who they are, and you can clearly see it's nothing offensive. It's just that
it's a liberation.
It's a liberation. Like, it's not saying that you can't have black and white love, or you can't have white and white love. But they're just saying that I appreciate black love, because I don't. The only black love that's put out there is usually, as you were saying, is destructive. Families are broken up, kids in a single parent home, and those kind of things. And that's what. It sounds like you kind of have an understanding of that from what...
I think so, yeah. And I think also the media is guilty sometimes of fetishizing black males, certainly, and black sexuality. Thank you, I got a clap.
Come on now.
I do think
I want to do a piece on that. I was having this conversation the other day. Not only is it black women who are over-sexualised, but so men as well.
Absolutely.
There's this black men and big things and rare.
Absolutely.
You just have to extend the show. Say what you were saying, sorry.
No. I think that's absolutely right. I think that there's a danger that there's been a commodification of possibly of black sexuality in the media and in popular culture, and that as a result of that, it maybe it's perhaps harder. I imagine my fantasy would be, or my imagination would be, for young black people growing up in the West today to don't maybe have the same narratives played out to them through popular culture, films, books, television as white people do. So there's so many more available positive narratives for me that I probably haven't even had to think about it.
Wow.
But I do think it's something that Yes, it's important. And that's why I think your work's so important. That's why I've been inspired by what you said, because actually you're reclaiming that narrative, and especially the fact you're promoting it from young black people, I think is powerful.
But also what I noticed about you is that you're comfortable in your skin, and that's the difference, Judy.
Yeah.
You know, when you're comfortable with who you are, you're going to embrace everyone and the world. And I just wish there was more people out here working with the young people, because that's the kind of mentality that's going to make us progress and get out of this.
I love that. This is the beauty of BBC Radio London. Yeah, we can drop our music, but yes, we can hold a conversation. And it is about the conversation. Thinking of conversation, oh, sorry, what you going to say something, Lorenzo, about black love?
Oh, I mean, right, no, I was really just tuning into what you were saying, like part of the audience, but I was hypnotised, innit? But I can real
He's
quick.
in love.
I mean, obviously, real quick, yeah? Cool. Yeah, my thing is always going to be around bringing it back to the young people and ends. And obviously, like for me, black love is deeper than just a black woman and a black man. It's also about young black men and young black women around the country treating one another similar, whether they're the same gender or opposite genders, with that respect, and also just uplifting each other, you know?
It is.
That's beautiful. Isn't that poetic?
It is,
Lovely.
man. It is. Hashtag black love, man.
Hashtag black love.
That. And people understand it, and not. I want people to understand, when you see hashtag black love or hashtag black excellence, don't get offensive or fearful. Like it's nothing bad. It's just we're celebrating ourselves. I don't where the fear comes from. We're celebrating ourselves. Us being powerful does not mean, like, you know, we're coming for you. Or maybe I don't know.
That is
yeah, I'm saying we're just
That's
trying.
a really good point.
Do you understand? We're just trying to love ourselves.
And
like
that's what happens.
Lorenzo
It's the fear that you know, people that aren't black get from us.
Yeah.
So I'd second what you've just said.
Thank you. Listen, I've got thinking of that. Well, this is, I don't know who this is. Dear Judy Love, I've been dating a guy for 7 months. However, he hasn't made it official, and I'm not sure where I stand. I don't want to scare him off, but should I just ask him directly if this is a relationship?
Send him that message right now.
No, don't send him the message.
Why not? She wants clarification.
I don't know. I think that, especially as a woman, I think that it almost sounds like signing yourself up to something. Like in this day and age, I think that if she's happy and satisfied in it, why does it need an official title?
But she wants a title.
Things need to be organic as well at the same time.
But
have to be organic.
Organic for 10 years, and you're sitting there
10
worrying.
years.
No, but it's been 7 months.
That's what I'm saying. 7 months.
That's not that long.
No, come on.
Especially to a really stereotypical guy, it's gonna be like, oh, well, you have to. Wait. I don't know.
Listen, no one
It's cute and mean, keep them keen. Sorry.
No one is not leaving me hanging for 7 months. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Girl,
You should have a sense of direction by then.
Right. I think you should.
After 3
months.
months.
One note. Should she, on a one quick answer, do you think she should ask him what's going on, Winsome?
It's not really worth it, because he's showing her
what's going
on.
That's what I'm saying.
And it's a booty call thing. That's what's going
Whoa.
on. So.
The vocals are coming through.
Drake X, should she say
Getting uncomfortable in it.
No, I think you should hold the composure and just do the brave walk away. You know what I mean?
away. Okay.
Maybe he'll call you because of that.
Okay,
Exactly.
let's end it. We've got two. Let me see if I can fit it in. I was having a discussion with a manager and explained that I have significant more amount of work than my colleagues, and I find this hard. And asked him if I could have an extension. My manager said to me, "Is that all?" As he was nervous I was going to use the race card. I'm in complete shock that he said this. What should I do?
Everyone's looking at me.
Please not me.
No, this is what's deep about that dilemma. Everything would have been fine had it not have been at the end. He said, "Oh, I'm sorry, it's about race." If he hadn't have said that, everything else would have been fine. But it just shows where his mind's at. Maybe he's been too over polite, but it's a difficult one. I don't think there is much to do, because he hasn't outright
done anything racist
to her. So, or him.
Maybe we should just ask the question. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, it's an ignorance, that relates back to what we've been saying. You can't be frightened to have a conversation, because that's part of the problem. Like, why should it be something that you can't talk about?
Yeah.
Maybe it's frightened because you're like, boy, you might try. That's the manager, isn't it? Like, what if I mistakenly lose my job? Have a conversation with him. We're saying basically, is it?
Yeah.
Have a conversation with a manager and say, what did you mean by that? I think. if you even just ask him, what do you mean by that? That in itself might make him feel uncomfortable enough that he will say, actually, I realised what I said was a little bit inappropriate.
Yeah.
Last one, because we've got like a
do
minute.
it.
I've been separated from my daughter's mother for 3 years. However, we get on well regards to parenting. I want another child. She's currently single. I want to have a child with one woman. How do I approach this situation? Basically, he wants to breed a baby mother again.
Very adult conversation, I suggest.
A very adult conversation with her. He needs
It's the safest way to approach it, I think.
Safely.
Yeah, and if it's something that she really wants, then it might be something that he has to make a decision. You have to make a decision. Like, do you want to commit to that and properly commit to it?
Well, he's the one that wants the child.
He's the one that wants the child.
Yeah.
Oh, he wants another child with
With
another.
her. Yeah, with the same.
Honesty is the best policy. I can understand why he would want that, but I think he has to just sit down and just be real and just say, these are the reasons why. Can this be something that we try and
see how it works?
It's quite rare as well.
He must not like a full night's sleep, this guy.
I know a few people that's done that. I do. You know what I mean? I just listen, guys. We've got like a minute, and I need people to know where we can find you. So, Winsome, Duncan, please tell them where they can find you online and so on.
Yep. So www.peachespublications.co.uk. Winsome Duncan all over social media, Twitter, Facebook, the lot.
Dre X?
You can find me on all social platforms, Dre_X Music, and my music's under Dre X on all streaming platforms.
Lovely. And yourself? Football Borders?
Football Beyond Borders. Yes, you can find us online, footballbeyondborders.org. That's our main website. Other platforms such as Instagram, Football Beyond Borders, that's going to be our full @ on Twitter, we are F Beyond Borders.
Lovely. And you know, people, I've been the one like Judy Love. This Monday motivation was about being simple, living, loving, and not wasting time with your life, because we've only got one. Once it's gone, you cannot take it back. You cannot go back. So love the people you're around. Keep loving, keep living, keep laughing. You've been locked into BBC Radio.
Judy Love!
Big up.
And you know, we have to end the show with a tune. So I'm just going to dance out with Gun Body by Burna Boy and Jordan Smith.
Last night at the club. Even though I had my dark shades on, I was looking at you all night long. I'm in the middle of the street. How did I ever let you leave? Oh no, why did I drink this Hennessy? And I don't know what come over me, and I just want to make me come body. Don't want to lose you to nobody, no. My God, you know go free. And I don't know what come over you. As you see me, so I know bad do. I swear to God, you can come out to. You can come out to. Don't be smarting, cause something I've been watching. I might just drunk or something. I've been loving like a monkey. A junkie for your loving. I must be high or something, but now it doesn't really matter because I'm in the middle of the street. How did I ever let you leave? Oh no, why did I drink this Hennessy? And I don't know what come over me, and I just want to make me come body. Don't want to lose you to nobody, no. My God, you know go free. And I don't know what come over you. As you see me, so I know bad do. I swear to God, you can come out to. Oh, you can come out to.
I feel if I did not be without you. I can't take this kindness no more. I can't take what's lies anymore. What's trying for me is playing with you. Maybe you're drunk, or maybe I'm too. Baby, you're a sufferer, a soldier, killer of your own heart. If you treat me kinda, kept me closer, would we still part? Isn't easy with me. Drink it just to loosen myself up from what I can and shouldn't be. But now I'm in the middle of the street. How did I ever let you leave? I don't know. Why did I drink this Hennessy? Yeah.
Then I don't know what come over me. Then I just want to make me come body. Don't want to lose you to nobody, no. My God, you know go free. And I don't know what come over you. As you see me, so I know bad do. I swear to God, you can come out to. Oh, you can come out to.
Hello, this is Duncan Barks, and London's late-night radio phone-in takes to the air after the 10 o'clock news for a Wednesday night. Dissatisfaction with democracy has reached an all-time high last year, according to new research, with British people left particularly frustrated by the political stalemate caused by the EU referendum. Tell me, are you surprised by these findings? The BBC has suspended the closure of its red button text service after protests. Tell me, what do you use the red button for? Plus, after 10 o'clock, I want your stories about those occasions where you simply walked out of somewhere or something. 0800 731 2000. Give me a call.
On digital radio, 94.9 FM and on BBC Sounds.
This is London.
This is BBC Radio London.
London's news at 10 o'clock. I'm Stephen Davis. Companies involved in the refurbishment of Grenfell Tower have asked the public inquiry into the fire for a guarantee that anything they say at the hearings won't be used in a future prosecution. The chairman, Sir Martin Moore-Bick, said he was surprised by the move and disappointed by its timing. Grenfell campaigner and local resident Melanie Juno-Wolfe gave BBC Radio London her reaction.
What is being proposed is that if immunity is not granted with the criminal prosecution, then these witnesses will not be forthright. That, to me, is a threat.
The European Parliament has voted overwhelmingly to ratify the withdrawal agreement. It settles the terms of Brexit, allowing the UK to officially leave the EU at 11 p.m. on Friday. Before the vote, the leader of the Brexit Party, Nigel Farage, gave a final speech in Brussels.
We don't need a European Commission. We don't need a European Court. We don't need these institutions and all of this power. And I can promise you, both in UKIP and indeed in the Brexit Party, we love Europe. We just hate the European Union. It's as simple as that.
British Airways has suspended all flights to and from mainland China as the coronavirus continues to spread. There are now around 6,000 cases and more than 130 people have died. Around 200 British people are due to be flown back to the UK tomorrow. Jeff Siddle is waiting to leave.
The British government have been much slower to react than many other countries. America, France, Japan, a number of other countries seem to have been much more proactive and had plans in place to get their citizens out. The UK government have almost just reacted in the light of what other countries are doing.
The Transport Secretary Grant Shapps has confirmed that Northern is being stripped of its rail franchise. The train company has been accused of unacceptable delays on its services across the northeast of England and Cumbria. BBC News is to cut around 450 jobs as part of plans to meet a savings target of £80 million. Jobs will go at the World Service, Radio 5 Live and BBC's Newsnight, while the Victoria Derbyshire programme will also be axed. The BBC's Director of News is Fran Unsworth.
We see a big drop-off in audiences under the age of 35, many of whom are getting their news from the digital space, the website, social media. We have a universal licence fee. Everybody pays in and everybody has to get something out. So if we're not reaching younger audiences, then we have to do more to enable that to happen.
And the ITV News presenter Alistair Stewart is stepping down from his role following what ITN describes as errors of judgment in his social media use. Mr Stewart's account has now been deactivated.